Welcome back to my ruminations on Arpeggio of Blue Steel. This episode is an oddball. Clearly intended as another breather, it works much better in that capacity than episode 3 because there's less stupid shit in it, so it's easier to relax. Actually, this episode is simultaneously atypical and very typical. What I mean is, for Arpeggio, it's different from what we've seen before, but for anime as a whole, you'll recognize a lot of stuff here. It's a light and fluffy bit of filler shot through with some veins of plot to give it a point. Or rather, it starts light and fluffy and builds to the crescendo at the end. I forgot about that second part, about how it gets more meaty as we go, and remembered only filler episode. Thus, I suspected I'd have less to talk about. That's not true. As a general reminder, my guidelines for length of rumination go like this. I talk, and I talk until I'm done talking about stuff, and that's it. It could go 10 minutes, it could go the full hour. How much I talk doesn't necessarily have any correlation to the quality of the work, just what I have to say. Episode 5, Not Human. We open on, well, apology accepted, Arpeggio. It's very kind of you. Anyhow, our hero is put into port again after the battle, and, welp. Iona reports a lot of damage, and their nanomachine supply is pretty thin right now. Yeah, that's gonna void your warranty. I know the underground dockyard and the huge elevators have practicality issues. The sheer amount of power required to just move around ships, even destroyers and submarines, just move them around without any water helping? Absurd. Especially when we're supposed to be devastated and defeated and low on every form of resource. That's never in evidence. But it doesn't bother me at all. Because it's the future, it makes sense. Hiding is a legit plan against a stronger foe that seems likely to work, and it's not a plot point. Plus, it's really cool. Oh, and Iona's just straight out of black hole torpedoes, so no more of that for a while. Without the Macross cannon or those, we're reduced to prepare for ramming speed and the power of friendship. Gunzo says they need to get back to Iwoto, as in Iwo Jima, where they've got themselves a little private base that's like way cooler than anything the big dumb government could have, and it's run by Gunzo's girlfriend, who's a model from Canada, so you probably wouldn't know her. I wonder why all the UI elements for everyone are in English when everyone is involved is in Japanese. Anyhow, it's time to actually get the damn thing we came here for, the super mega vibration torpedo that could change the war. Oh hey, it's that girl again, in a lab coat directing people. I'm still certain she won't be critical to the war. Anyhow, come on Japan, I know you love having kids save the day, but this is a little silly. No, actually we'll find out what her deal is today, swear. Gunzo obviously takes note of her, but Iona's still, distracted, thinking about stuff. Yeah, she's gonna need some more time on that one. I think she's beginning to understand why we mourn the dead. No, I'd rather be mourning the indeterminate number of people killed in the battle for doing nothing other than trying to defend them. Poor Iona, seriously, she barely knows anything about the world, and what she does know is primarily related to murder. Submarine warfare is inherently aggressive in nature. And the OP plays us in. Still good. One of the reasons I like it so much is many of the musical chords actually put one in mind of the sea. How? It's difficult to explain, but when you listen to it, even without context, the ocean might come to mind. I think of Sonic's ocean level tracks, Wave Ocean, the stretched chords, or that one level in Sonic Unleashed with the Arctic day level where the music was evocative of Arctic Ocean with the twanging. I don't know, I'm not a music critic. It sounds like the ocean. Moving on. So Iona finds herself in a Skype call. Again, the closest thing the human mind can comprehend to purgatory. Maya's there. She asks what's wrong. So Iona explains about what all's happened. Maya's only reaction to hearing some of her friends are now dead is that she hopes to play her part soon too. You're scary, kid. You've gone past pleasant or chipper or dapper straight into sewing yourself together with life fibers. Iona reveals that when she took them out, their thoughts and memories flooded into her like a quickening. Remember, Iona had amnesia and wasn't quite 100% about stuff and the fog and all that before. I'm guessing now she knows. Lot to think about. Anyhow, back in the land of the Karma Houdini, no, see, it's okay, because all the red shirts and civilians were generic with no character, and these two have interesting character designs. That means we should care about them more. Anyhow, times two, we see that Haruna was recovered by the girl and taken to her nearby huge impressive giant mansion. As you do. She's resting comfortably in her underwear. You know, Gunzo's not the only captain who can help you explore your humanity. Okay, I'll stop. If I make a joke every time we get fan service in this episode, we're gonna be here for hours. So yeah, that's kind of the point. So Haruno wants her coat back because, yeah. And after a quick game of keep away and inflict consequent emotional trauma on the alien battleship AI, she gives it back. Shazam! So the girl's name is Maki, and she also gives her that little thing she recovered on the beach. Yeah, you guessed it. That's Kirishima's core. God damn, these ships are hard to kill. I would say take off and nuke the site from orbit, but first off, the site is our planet, so that's not really viable. And the fog would just absorb the blast with shields anyhow. Where's Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum when you need them? So Maki offers to let Haruna stay for a while and rest. She also points out that an outfit consisting entirely of a huge coat and underwear beneath is a little weird. Cue clothing trying on scenes. Of course, just what you were expecting after the gritty realities of war and the unbeatable killer machine attacks. Fortunately, Maki has tons of clothing in a more adult size. Why? I don't know. She's obscenely rich and really bored. Sky's the limit. Wow, Haruna, you talk like a robot girl trying to discover her humanity or something. Oh, the imagination on some of these kids. Anyhow, cue the montage music. Oh, right, lazy bastard. Anyhow, oh, by the way, somebody in the house is watching them. I hope he enjoys the show. So yeah, enjoy a procession of Haruna dressing up. Here she is, getting progressively more miserable until she's ready to tap out. Ha! You might be smarter, stronger, faster, and more merciless, but you have underestimated humanity's ability to waste time with pointless shit. Actually, I think Haruno looks pretty good here in the new outfits with the new hairstyles. The curly drill hair thing in particular, I don't know. Anyhow, as you can tell, a chunk of this episode is dedicated to such fluffy things, and, well, I don't dislike it. It's pleasurable, and nothing about it makes me mad, so hey. Eventually, Maki has to go get a checkup before Din's ready. So Haruna can take her time, really think about it, and decide which outfit she'd rather, yeah, coat time. You know, this section has really helped me feel for Haruna more. I have been here. I'd rather just like what I like sometimes. This whole thing also greatly amuses Kirishima. After getting some nano-machine sun from Haruna though, well, that's her new body for the moment. Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, the conquerors of the world. So they go out into the hallway to take a look around, maybe try and escape. I will note during this that the grim, serious danger music is playing, and I'm not entirely sure it's fitting. Well, maybe there's more to this place than meets the eye, because Haruna turns up negative when trying to scan for life signs. Like any, at all. In a mansion. Anyhow, it's time for Din. Kirishima has to play dead and get carried around because, well, stuffed animal. I'm guessing they don't want to look weird in front of their new friend. Until, when offered a stuffed carrot, Kirishima actually eats it. Smooth. So Kirishima realizes her cover is blown and she sees only one thing for it. Murder! Yeah, you're shocked. Fortunately, the power of a little girl's glomp far exceeds a murderous robot attack in anime, as you well know, so she's fine. Just remember for next episode that Kirishima was totally ready to kill her. Really, Maki's just thrilled because this is a sign that Haruna is, like her, somebody involved in some secret stuff most people don't know anything about, probably involving robotics. Haruna is interested in this, and amusingly, agrees to let Maki have the stuffed animal, where Kirishima is. She's unthrilled about that too. Consider it punishment for your sins. So, night falls on the estate, and it's bath time. Together. Japan, don't you know? Japan. See what I mean about this being every anime episode ever? It's like they have a checklist they need to fulfill, like mandates. They're trying to make up for how full the last episodes were of story and action and character stuff. Hey, I'll take this over Darth Malik any day of the week. Haruna, seeing how energetic and happy Maki always acts, the luxury she lives in, naturally concludes that she's a free spirit. However, nothing could be farther from the truth. Yeah. Something's definitely up here, and I'm as curious as the battleships are. After Maki's safely asleep, they decide to check in with the boss and give a status report. Man, they have some long range on that. So once again, somebody has fucked up and come to report it to Congo. Kirishima prostrates herself, as much as a stuffed animal can. I didn't think we could be defeated, and that is why you lost. Again, Congo takes this extraordinarily well. She doesn't even get mad or scold them. In fact, her primary concern is being glad they survived the experience. She tells them to get out of there and link up with the fog again, but Kirishima has another idea. She uploads an interesting discovery to her, the vibration torpedo. Fuck. Specifically, she's figured out they're in the house of the dude who designed the weapon. While he's gone, they could still retrieve data about the weapon and bring it back. Well, double fuck. So Kongo approves their new mission, and as they leave, she tries the "we're only weapons, we're only pretending to have feeling" things on Haruna. Honestly, I think she's already too far gone for that to work. Throughout this episode, she's been exposed to dangerously high levels of friendship and cute, and that just doesn't make for a merciless killer usually. Usually. Meanwhile, we check in once again with Takao. I'd call it a pointless interlude, but I love Takao, and she's as fabulous as ever. She's drawing closer to the secret rebel base at Iwoto, that is, Iwo Jima. Normally not a place that Japanese people might want to— Whoa! Well, from the base comes some serious grade firepower. I guess that's not unexpected. In fact, lasers and missiles rain out from a hidden source on land and absolutely plaster her. As in the ship that gave our heroes an entire episode's worth of trouble. Yeah, it's not hard to see she's being bushwhacked by another heavy fog ship. We'll see what happens to her later, though. Back to Friendship Manor. Kirishima and Haruna are trying to find out what's in the basement. Oh god. The mascot guard figure things are moving, and their eyes glow, and it's nighttime. Run! Get out! Get out while you still can! Their only weakness is being looked at through a camera, or getting milked for endless rehab. No, they'll probably be alright. And I guess it says something that Kirishima and Haruna have basically become the viewpoint characters for the episode. They're up to, "I'd rather not see you destroyed." We'll see how that goes. Oh, and all the lights in the hallway come on unprompted, and one of the maids was just there, in the dark, waiting for them. Oh good! This is legit getting creepy, so let's go see what's below. Huh, that's new. And yep, still being watched. You can probably figure out who's down there pulling all the strings. Yep, Mackie's dad, still alive. Barely. In that specific sort of death's door that fictional characters often hang on, where they have exactly enough left in the tank to give us an important speech. Kirishima demands info on the warhead, but he can't give it, since it's not his creation. His daughter did it, and as you may have guessed, she's not exactly human. Backstory time. So, her dad was a scientist working on ways to combat the fog. However, there's just no accounting for the fact that fog ships are fucking OP. Failure after failure. Setback after setback. So what then? Why, he created an artificial super genius to help solve the problem. Of course. I mean, it sounds so obvious when I say it out loud. I didn't know why I didn't think of it sooner. Oh, sorry, not one child, 109, of which 7 were viable. Damn! Even the Spartan program didn't have that kind of turnaround. Oh, and only one of them survived past 3 years. She bloomed into a super genius. But as you can expect, even before I say these words, the big bad government feared her and what she represented and her abilities, yada yada. So they forced them into basically exile in this big, comfortable mansion. A gilded cage. Even with not being able to leave, they felt like a family, and loved each other as such. For a time, they were content. Until, say it with me, the big bad government. Yep, they told him one day to destroy Mackie. Why? No reason given. I suspect the paperwork was filed under F for fuck you. They're bad, they're evil, that's why. That specific form of Darth Malik, let's toss away our own assets for no actual reason whatsoever, thus only hurting ourselves. That's why I called him Darth Malik. To preserve my own sanity, I will assume Malik was the one who gave that order too. Maybe he used child murder to solidify his run for the national diet. Though Mackie was heartbroken, she would live. Without backups or copies or the person who made her, she was now totally unique and irreplaceable, and they still needed her to finish the weapon. Hence, even Malik's bloodlust would have to wait, as her dad faked his own death, thus leaving her alone. For a time. Until now, when it's done, and they no longer need her. Kirishima wonders why he didn't die for real, given that if Malik ever found out about his ruse, it would cause more trouble. His response is simple: lingering attachment. And there's the line I was waiting for. Shut up, Kirishima. I don't want to hear that from you, of all people. And the reason I'm not going off on a minutes-long speech about this is because I can also tell she's not really saying it in malice or arrogance, but with something else in her voice. But what I just gave you was the feeling the first time through, already angry, and then we get here. It's like her attitude last episode. I took it way worse last time, but now I'm noticing more nuances and subtleties in it. We are in fact getting close to the point I just stopped at. It's next episode. I remember the exact moment. But for now, shit's about to go down, and Okasabe asks one favor of them. He wants the two of them to save his daughter. Even though they're mental models of the fog, the enemy, he sees the way she laughs and smiles with them, and that's enough. Now Haruno's the one with a lot on her mind. Oh hey, it's the big bad government, right on time. Honestly, if I didn't know I'd be sent to the copyright gulag for it, I would play the Imperial March right here. So yeah, here we go. The Okasabe residence is now under siege. We'll get more into the whys and hows next time, in the battle between the army and the low-power fog models. But yeah, they're here for Maki. Though I do have to wonder how exactly the hell they learned about this so fast. It's been like literally a day. Yeah, I know one of their warehouses has a giant human-shaped imprint on the surface, but that's not exactly evidence. How did they know about this, and so fast? It's not a story ruiner for me, but I do have to stop for a second and try to address it. Let's think. Obviously, neither the Fog nor Osakabe would tip Malik off to this, even if he is, as I suspect, on Kongo's payroll to sabotage humanity. That just leaves the maids. Now the story gives us the strong impression they're not human either, but robots. However, Haruna says earlier that there's few life signs in the house. Not none, so I don't know. I guess the most likely case is the maids work for the big bad government and one of them called the cops. You know, they were put there to keep an eye on them. Fair enough. In any case, don't worry everyone. These soldiers have proven very effective against fog ships in the past. I smell promotions round the board. So, with Haruna having newfound resolution not just to execute our orders, but to protect a new friend she's made against overwhelming forces, we close out to the ED of the episode. You know, I was worried there wouldn't be much to talk about, but that's only because I remember the light and fluffy elements and the fan service. There's actually a lot of meat here as well. We start out absolutely saccharine, but then things decline into a state of rather deadly seriousness. Like the last episode, I was expecting to be way more mixed about this, but I can't gloss over things, hate it, or be cynical. It's too good. The episode, the way it's put together, the pacing, I just can't get it in me to be mad. This might sound like damning a faint praise, but really, it's won me back over for now, the whole show has. Throughout the course of this story, we once again saw Robot Girl learns to humanity, and as I've said before, I really like that story. So it's no surprise I found the fluffy stuff and the serious stuff both rather tolerable. Even though the fluffy stuff is every anime episode that has ever existed. Hey, tropes aren't bad, it's how we use them that's good or bad. My overall thoughts on the episode are, as you'd expect, positive. Compared to, say, the Battle Last episode, I'd definitely rather watch that instead, but as a breather, it's good. We also get some advancement of the actual plot, and interesting ideas are put in front of the viewer. I can say this, I was never bored. I expected to be bored by a filler episode, and that was never the case. It was always interesting. I can recommend it without any reservations. Next episode, the big bad government is coming for our heroes? Viewpoint characters? Well, they're coming, and only two poor, small, weak fog battleships stand in their way. I wonder how that's gonna go. Oh, and we'll discuss the ethics of child murder. Bye.